They called it a red-class penal world. Officially, it was designated Sol 3, but in whispers across the galactic core, it had another name: the Cradle of Madness. Agent Varel stood before the vault doors deep beneath the archives of Station Trinaxis. The steel hummed with a containment field older than most civilizations in the galaxy. Only red-class worlds were locked this way, planets so dangerous that even observation was considered hazardous. Sighing, Varel input his credential. The door creaked open. A holographic interface flickered to life. Warning: conscious exposure to Sol 3 data has been linked to cognitive instability. Proceed? Varel blinked. They always exaggerate, he thought, and confirmed access. Instantly, the chamber dimmed. Screens lit up. Images, footage, screams, laughter, explosion, fire, famine, celebration, genocide, empathy, genetically engineered viruses, cities bursting with neon, children dancing in radioactive ash. He stumbled backward. By the stars, the AI voice broke in. Sol 3, indigenous species, Homo sapien, average life expectancy, 72 standard years, current planetary status, semi-stable, classification, uncontainable. Varel narrowed his eyes. Why uncontainable? The AI hesitated, then displayed the war log. World War I, World War II, a Cold War with enough nuclear arsenal to incinerate the planet 10 times over. And still, they survived. Varel leaned forward, muttering, "No galactic oversight? No species intervention?" "Negative," said the AI. Quarantine was established approximately 10,000 Earth years ago. Purpose unclear. Origin lost. He froze. Lost? Who quarantined them? Silent. The AI replied flatly, "Redacted." A chill ran through his skin. A species so dangerous that someone erased even the memory of who locked them away. He began piecing through cultural data, article language, behavior. There was no consistency. Humans created beauty and horror in the same breath. They could cry while killing, laugh while dying, sacrifice for strangers, betray their own kin. No pattern, no logic, only raw emotion. Then, something new. A signal. A broadcast dated 2 Earth months ago, originating from within Sol 3's atmosphere. A satellite launch. It wasn't just a satellite. It was propulsion. Experimental, sloppy, but it worked. The footage showed it clearly. Humans had achieved faster-than-light ignition. Primitive, violent, but real. Varel backed away from the console. "They're getting out," he whispered. The AI responded without prompting. "Correction, they are not escaping. They are evolving." He stared at the final image on screen. 3 humans, standing before their launch craft, helmets underarm, grinning like lunatics. The words stenciled on their hull read, "Not escaping, just exploring." The chamber lights flickered. For the first time in his career, Agent Varel filed a Level 0 alert. Potential emergent apex civilization. And far away, in the cold, dark silence of space, something ancient shifted. Commander Threx adjusted the filtration vents on his exosuit. The air of Sol 3 was corrosive, teeming with microbial life, carcinogens, unstable molecules, and an absurd amount of oxygen. "Atmosphere classified as mildly toxic," said the medical drone. Threx scoffed. "Then how do they breathe this poison?" No one answered. The dropship hovered over what remained of a city, half submerged, rusting, wrapped in vines and fog. But there were lights, movement, signs of life, human life. They were thriving. The expedition team, 30 elite operatives from the Varn Dominion, had come prepared for chaos. They brought containment rigs, pulse cannons, firebreak drones, yet what they encountered was worse than any simulation. They landed at night and heard laughter, children playing in a flooded parking structure, an old man fixing a generator with spare bones, a woman teaching martial arts to teenagers while balancing on a broken pillar. People lived here, not in fear, but in rhythm, in defiance of the world. Lieutenant Varnak whispered, "This can't be right. No species adapts this fast." Screams broke out, not from the humans, from a scouting unit sent into the jungle to capture specimens. Their vitals spiked, then flatlined. "Footage coming in," said the drone. Threx watched as the humans surrounded the scouts, unarmed, shirtless, painted with ash. They moved like predators. They used mud to mask heat signatures, made spears from rebar, traps from wire. One of the scouts was taken out by a child using a slingshot and laughing. "What are they?" muttered Threx. From the shadows, a voice replied, in perfect Dominion standard. "They're what you become when the universe forgets you." Threx spun, blaster raised. A human stood before him, tall, gaunt, with cybernetic eyes and a cracked breathing mask. Threx hissed. "You speak our tongue?" The man nodded. "Picked it up from your last probe. It screamed a lot. Where is it now?" The man smiled. "Parts of it run my coffee machine." The air tensed. "You are quarantined," barked Threx, "for the safety of the galaxy." The human tilted his head. "You think this is a prison?" Threx hesitated. "Isn't it?" The man stepped forward, eyes glowing faintly. "You ever raise something wild, Commander? Give it space. Let it fight, bleed, learn pain and joy? That's not a prison." He gestured to the jungle, the sky. "It's a cradle." "Cradle of what?" asked Threx. The human's smile faded. "Of what comes next." Suddenly, alarms rang. Explosions lit up the sky. The expedition's ships disabled, their systems hacked. One of the aliens screamed, "They're inside our network!" Threx looked back, but the human was already gone. Above them, a flare shot into the sky. Not a distress call, a signal. They had been watched, studied, and now humanity was done waiting. The emergency chamber of the Galactic Council was silent, not by choice, by fear. Agent Varel stood before a panoramic display of star charts. Dozens of blinking red dots pulsed across systems once believed untouched. "Confirm it," said Chancellor Urana, her voice trembling. Varel nodded grimly. "Human presence has been confirmed on Mars, Europa, Titan, Ceres, 2 rogue stations in the Kuiper Belt, and," he paused, "one craft intercepted leaving the Oort cloud. Destination unknown." Gasps. One counselor collapsed. Another whispered a prayer in 5 dialects. Admiral Scorv rose, shaking with rage. "How did this happen?" "They were contained. That planet was a death sentence." "No," said Varel, his eyes distant. "It was a test, one they passed." He brought up intercepted footage. A human in a makeshift EVA suit stood on a frozen moon, planting a flag made from stitched plastic. Another clip showed a group laughing in zero-G as they jury-rigged a life support system using scraps from a crashed alien drone. They didn't just survive, they adapted, faster than anyone thought possible. And then came the transmission. Crude, broadcast on hundreds of frequencies at once. A human face appeared. Young, scarred, eyes fierce with wonder. "To whoever's listening, we're not here to conquer. We're just tired of waiting." Silence again. The council turned to Varel. What do they want? He hesitated. "To explore, to learn, to touch every corner of this galaxy." Chancellor Urana narrowed her eyes. "They'll destabilize everything. Cultures will collapse. Borders will melt. They won't stop." Varel whispered, more to himself than anyone else. "They don't know how to stop. They were forged in fire, in madness, raised in chaos. And now," he turned to face them all, "they're not running, they're growing." A warning alert interrupted the chamber. A probe had picked up a human vessel near the galactic core. The center, the most sacred, ancient, forbidden region. "Impossible," said a counselor. "That area is unreachable." The feed activated. A single ship, small, loud, beautifully unstable. Its hull scrawled with graffiti and burn marks. A message painted across the side read, "Hello, universe. We're home." Panic spread. Weapon systems were activated. Emergency protocols initiated. But deep inside, they all knew it was already too late. Because the humans weren't a mistake. They weren't an anomaly. They were the answer to a question the universe had been too afraid to ask. What happens when something survives everything?